Hey guys, welcome back to the Lore Masters. Today we're going to be kickstarting off the new series of Elder Scrolls Lore. Today we're going to be looking at the basic timeline of the Elder Scrolls series, and we're going to be going straight from the very start of the second era all the way up to the fourth era. The first most notable act in the second era would be the creation of the Mages Guild by no other than himself than Avanos Galerium. He is the most famous mage in the whole of Tamriel and the whole of Tamriel's history, as he brought magic to the public, allowing any person to be able to use magic. As before that and then, it would only be skilled mages and very few people. Some people even theorise this is why the Elder Scrolls game was made after these occurrences of the Mages Guild, otherwise it would be impossible for so many magic users to be using magic in a game where only certain amounts of people had access to magicka. Next on our list would be the Fighters Guild. Back then there would be a high demand in hired mercenaries and guards to keep the way of peace and life in these uncertain times. The Fighters Guild would take almost any contract and fight for only good contracts, therefore keeping the peace, and it is no wonder the Fighters Guild flourished very well in the second era. This next part would be called the Interregnum and would last almost half the second era. This was because the Ruby Throne, the main emperor, was no longer, there was no emperor over Tamriel, so people were fighting to get the throne, specifically the provinces. This next part would be one of the most hugest, greatest parts to Tamriel's history. I'm of course talking about the coming of Talos. In the second era, 830, Talos was born as a Nord and took complete control and unified the whole of Tamriel, becoming the Emperor. The next series of events will be the thing that kick-started off the entire Elder Scrolls series. I'm talking about the legendary games themselves, as Elder Scrolls Arena, Daggerfall and Morrowind. These are one of the best games ever made and what kick-started off the Elder Scrolls series. The next major event in the Elder Scrolls timeline would be the Oblivion Crisis at the start of the fourth era and at the end of the third. This was when Mehrunes Dagon, the Daedric Prince, would open his realm of Oblivion to their realm. Your character in the campaign, the hero Cyrodiil, in which he is warded, guides the mortal form of Akatosh to Mehrunes Dagon to defeat him in the end, saving Cyrodiil, let alone Tamriel. The next event would be the one we are most familiar with, of which is Skyrim. Skyrim was in the fourth era, 201. You play as Dragonborn and save the whole of Skyrim and unify it by either taking the Stormcloak campaign or the Imperial campaign and taking over the entire Skyrim either way and solving the Civil War. You also kill Alduin, the Soul Eater, who will eventually bring back dragons and take over the world if it wasn't for you, a badass shouting Dragonborn. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this brief analysis of the Elder Scrolls timeline from the second era to the fourth era. If you like this episode, please leave a like and subscribe, it'll help us out a lot. Thank you, I'm Scott, goodbye.